these people who are coming back from Syria, which they invariably will, it's really important that there is a dismantling of the ideology as a whole, rather than just persuading them that violence isn't the way to realise their Islamist ideals. So you need to tackle it at its very root, and that is the certain ideals like having a caliphate, having an austere interpretation of Sharia law within said caliphate, and other things like rejection of democracy. These things have to be tackled at their root, and just convincing someone that violence is the wrong way to achieve these goals isn't really enough. There needs to be more of a counter-narrative from the very beginning. Islamic State use social media, things like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, really, really effectively. There needs to be some sort of challenging of the things that it's putting out, the narrative that it's peddling on the internet, because at the moment it takes a very few people who have a very loud voice and an obsession with tweeting about Islamic State to reach many thousands of people. So it's really important that people who aren't pro-Islamic State, who do actually think that the things that are happening there are abhorrent and disagree with the values and ideals of Islamic State, they need to become more vocal and challenge the ideas that this vocal few are peddling, because they're very, very dangerous, these people, because you don't necessarily know that they are pro-Islamic State, but they give you a very narrow worldview, and one which does end up luring you into thinking that things are what they're not. One of the things which is at the heart of people wanting to go and fight for Islamic State, or go and fight with Al-Qaeda as well, is issues with citizenship. So people don't feel like they are part of Britain, they don't feel like they're part of British society, they feel marginalised and alienated by the people around them. That makes them very vulnerable to Islamist extremists who will recruit them to their cause. So what needs to happen is that people need to be brought back into the politics of the country. They need to feel the opposite of marginalised. They need to feel like they can have control over what their future will hold. Former jihadists who have left behind the entire ideology, rather than just former jihadists who have stopped using violence, are a really big asset in the fight against radical Islamism, because what they have, which someone like you or I don't have, is an ability to understand the arguments through and through that Islamist extremists are peddling. That they know what defences are going to come up if someone says, actually that's not true, that's not true. They know what tenets are the most important, the most appealing ones to a young person who's been lured into the jihadist causes. So these people know how it works. They also have the experience. They know that going out to fight in Syria is actually pretty horrible. They know that going out to fight in Syria doesn't involve killing Assad troops, saving Syrians. It actually involves killing other Muslims, and that is the opposite of what they originally went out to do. Education, employment and housing are really, really important for this. Reintegration as a whole is really, really important. What needs to happen is that the ideology needs to be dismantled, but then also people need to feel like they can become citizens again. And this is after a time of detention in jail, because they have, let me reiterate, they have committed criminal actions. But it's really important that they are reintegrated so they don't feel the same level of marginalisation and alienation that made them vulnerable to Islamism in the first place.